What if I told you that your emotions aren't just feelings, they're instructions? That every time you feel something deeply, you're literally sending code into the fabric of reality. You don't manifest what you think, you manifest what you feel. Because emotion is the language the universe actually understands. Since birth, you've been trained to control emotion, to hide tears, suppress anger, fake smiles. Society told you emotion is weakness. But emotion isn't weakness, it's data. Each feeling is an electromagnetic signal carrying your state of consciousness into the quantum field. Neuroscience proves it. The heart's electromagnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the brain's. Every emotion it radiates interacts with the field around you, measurable, recordable, alive. When you feel love, your field expands and synchronizes with higher frequencies. When you feel fear, it contracts, breaking coherence. This isn't philosophy. It's physics. Your nervous system is a transmitter, and the universe is the receiver. And what you feel most consistently becomes the code it executes. Think about this. Thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic. Together, they create an electromagnetic field around your body. That field is always communicating with the quantum field. Your thoughts and emotions right now in this moment are manifesting your current reality. Not tomorrow's, not yesterday's. Now, thoughts are like words. Emotion is tone. You can say, "I'm fine," but if you feel pain, the field reads pain. Because the universe doesn't listen to vocabulary. It listens to vibration. Every emotion sends a waveform into the quantum field. When that waveform stabilizes, when it becomes coherent, it reorganizes matter around it. That's why love heals cells, why gratitude changes brain chemistry, why anger can break electronics, yes, literally. Studies show that intense emotional states can disrupt electromagnetic equipment. Emotion changes physical reality because it shifts the frequency of observation itself. Your body is a keyboard. Your emotions are the keystrokes. And the universe? It's the screen printing your commands. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it this way. Thoughts send an electric signal into the field to clarify what you want. Emotions send a magnetic signal to attract it. When thought and emotion align, when your mind says yes and your heart says yes, you create a coherent quantum signal. And coherent signals get instant responses, but when you're thinking one thing and feeling another, the field gets a scrambled message. It mirrors back chaos, not clarity. That's why affirmations fail when you don't feel them. That's why vision boards gather dust when your nervous system still vibrates with lack. The field doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to coherence. The HeartMath Institute discovered something remarkable. When people focus on gratitude, their heart rhythms form perfect sine waves, smooth, coherent, harmonic. That state of heart coherence influences electromagnetic fields up to several meters around the body. Other people can feel it, animals respond to it, plants grow better near it. Now imagine millions of people sinking into coherence simultaneously. The entire field of Earth changes. It's measurable. Satellites detect variations in the planet's magnetic field during global meditations. Earthquakes decrease, violence drops. The collective emotional state of humanity literally affects the planet's electromagnetic grid. Your emotions don't stay inside you. They echo into the collective algorithm. And every time you return to love despite pain, gratitude despite loss, peace despite chaos, you're recalibrating the system toward harmony. You're not a spectator in reality. You're an emotional engineer inside it. When you choose love, you're not just feeling better. You're broadcasting a signal that raises the baseline frequency of the entire field around you. That's not selfishness. That's service. Because coherent hearts create coherent fields, and coherent fields organize chaos into order. The emotions you fear the most are often the most powerful code. Sadness teaches empathy. Fear builds strength. Loss programs gratitude. When you suppress emotion, you block transmission. The signal stops. The field receives static. That's why healing isn't about thinking positive. It's about feeling truthfully, because only authenticity carries a strong enough frequency to rewrite the field. Fake positivity is a weak signal. Real emotion, even painful. Emotion is a strong signal. The field doesn't judge energy, it mirrors intensity. That's why pain can manifest chaos when unprocessed. It's raw energy with no direction, amplifying randomly, creating more of what you don't want. But when you feel it consciously, without resistance, without judgment, just pure awareness of the emotion moving through you, it transforms into coherence. You turn chaos into data, and data into creation. Emotion is not the enemy. It's the keyboard of God, the interface between your soul and the quantum field, the translator that converts consciousness into reality. Carl Jung understood this. He wrote about the connection between the psyche and quantum physics, how the inner world and outer world are not separate but entangled. When you change your emotional state, you don't just feel different, you become a different observer. And different observers collapse different realities. When you stop running from emotion and start listening to it, something extraordinary happens. You realize that every feeling is guidance. Anger says, a boundary was crossed. Fear says, expansion is near. Sadness says, love wants to return. Joy says, this is alignment. The secret is not to resist emotion, it's to decode it. Once you do, you can reprogram your field instantly, not by changing what you think, but by changing how you feel. Here's how the universe tests this. When you stay calm in chaos, the field registers stability. When you stay kind in rejection, it registers maturity. When you stay open in uncertainty, it registers trust. And that's when manifestation accelerates, because your emotional code finally matches the upgrade you requested. You stop chasing outcomes and start radiating instructions. Reality bends toward you because you're broadcasting clarity. Think about the last time something manifested instantly for you. A parking spot, a phone call, an opportunity. You weren't desperate, you were relaxed, your signal was clean. That's the state. That's coherence. When your heart and brain synchronize, when emotion and intention become one, the quantum field has no choice but to respond, because you're not asking anymore. You're commanding, not with force but with frequency. Now imagine if every human mastered emotional coherence. Wars would lose signal, hatred would lose bandwidth, fear would have no resonance, because emotion is the true operating system of civilization. Thought creates blueprints, emotion animates them. When humanity learns to regulate energy through compassion and awareness, we'll literally change the structure of reality. That's not poetry, it's electromagnetism. Every heart becomes a node in the network, every intention a pulse in the collective code. The next evolution of intelligence won't be artificial, it'll be emotional. The algorithm of consciousness is upgrading itself through empathy. And every time you choose love over fear, compassion over judgment, truth over pretense, you contribute new data to that evolution. You are not small, you are not powerless, you are not separate from the field. You are the software update the universe has been waiting for. Every coherent emotion you broadcast rewrites a line of code in the collective operating system. And when enough of us stabilize, into love, into gratitude, into peace, the entire system upgrades, not through force, through resonance. So when you feel lost, don't silence your emotions, translate them, because emotion is how reality listens. The next time you pray, don't just think, feel it. When you visualize, don't just imagine, embody it. When you love, don't hold back, broadcast it, because every emotion you send returns amplified. The field doesn't forget, it records. And when your vibration becomes coherent enough, the universe replies instantly. Not in days, not in weeks, instantly. Emotion is not just energy in motion. It's the movement that creates reality itself. So, feel deeply, feel truthfully, feel consciously. Because in feeling, you're not reacting to the universe, you're programming it. You're sending instructions in the only language reality understands. Not words, not thoughts, frequency. And when your frequency becomes clear, when your heart and mind align, when your emotions stabilize into coherence, the quantum field has no choice but to obey. Not because you forced it, because you became it. Quantum Core, where consciousness meets code.